Hi guys, welcome to the DevXP channel. My name is Seth Samuel. In this video, I'm going to give you three reasons why I think React is supreme. So let's get right into it. The first reason why React will always reign supreme is because of the first mover advantage. And what does that mean? It means that React was the first one to popularize single-page applications. Basically, before React, there was Angular, right? And Angular popularized a lot of the things that you see in React and are adopted in React. But one of the problems with Angular was that it was too complex to set up, right? So with React, if you're like a JavaScript developer, you can just pick up React in a day. Like it's very possible to pick out React in a day, but it's nearly impossible for you to pick Angular in a day. That's because there are a lot of moving parts to Angular, and that's because it's like a full framework, right? And you have to understand routing, modeling. You have to understand how the UI works and how the controller controls everything. Angular was just too complex, and up to now it's still complex. But React was just simple. Like React syntax, you just pick it. Like you can literally see HTML, right? Like the one that I have above right now. Like it's just basically HTML, but in a JavaScript file. That's basically what React is, and that simplicity made React just so nice to use. Like if you're a JavaScript developer, like you can easily pick up React. But if you are a JavaScript developer, you cannot pick up Angular. You have to pick up TypeScript. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So that first mover advantage always helped React, and I think it's the same thing that is happening against Flutter because it's one. It came out with the whole idea of single code based applications, right? Whereby you have multi-platform applications, iOS, Android, and the rest. So that advantage alone, and it's not just a React thing; it's a business thing. Whenever something comes out first, it usually has that first mover advantage. You can give many examples like of that happening. So the second reason why I think React will always reign supreme is the syntax, right? So when you see a React syntax, right, if you are like a front end developer, no matter where you're coming from, whether you're coming from Vue, you're coming from normal HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, or whatever you're coming from, it's very easy for you to just look at React code and understand what is going there. So apart from like very few changes that they made. For example, now classes are called class names. So if you're using class, you see class name. I think that's even the major advantage, the major difference with HTML that you see. Class is now changed to class name. But and then the name of the event handler is always capitalized. Yes, it's always camel keys. But apart from that, nothing. Like you're just reading HTML. So once you just know how to use HTML, you know how to use React. But the problem with something like Vue, and especially Vue, and then some of the others, it's because it's that they change a lot of the language. So for example, now in Vue, you'll be seeing V dash if V dash for V dash what. For example, in Vue, for loops work differently. So in normal JavaScript and TypeScript, if you say for in, it will give like index, right? And then if you say for off, then it gives you the actual objects that you're looking for. But in Vue, it works differently. Now, if you say for in, it gives you the objects, and if you say for off, it gives you the objects again. So you see how you change the language. It may just be like a minute thing, but it just kind of feels like it's no longer HTML. Like I really wanted to like Vue because I've heard good things about it. I really wanted to like Vue. I started writing Vue, but the problem was that I just find it changing a lot of things that I'm already used to. So for example now, the fact that you can add your styles and your script and your view, that's your HTML, like in the same folder but in different tags. It was just weird. You understand? If you've ever written Vue before, you know what I'm talking about. It's just really weird. But with React, it's very simple because It's just one file. Just have your .jsx or your .tsx file, and that's all. And then you have to add the x. You can just save .ts file, and then you work like normal, like nothing happens. So that's the second thing. The syntax of React is just too sweet, and for the fact that it doesn't even change the extension, so it makes you feel like you're writing your native JavaScript or you're writing your native HTML. Sorry, you're writing your native TypeScript, but with Vue you have to change the file extension. So that minute difference will even make people not like it that much. So, for example, in Vue you have to do dot view, in Svelte you have to do dot svelte, and it may seem like it's just like a minor issue, but believe you me, file extensions name sometimes this will make people like change language. It just feels like you're writing something different. You don't feel like you're writing JavaScript. You feel like you're writing Vue, and there's a feeling that comes to it. So the syntax is also very important. Then the next reason is the community, right? Now, by the community, I mean two things. Number one, the number of developers that are writing React, and number two, the number of companies that are using React. Now, let me start with the first one: the number of developers that are writing React. Because of that, because of the first two reasons why I stated above, like previously, the idea of the first mover advantage and the idea of the syntax, React was able to gather a lot of developers, right? And the good thing about that is that no matter what issue you faced in React, because of the number of developers that are out there, it is very likely that a lot of them have also faced that issue. And because there are a lot of them that may have possibly faced that issue, it's very easy for you to get help as to how they are able to fix that issue. And most of the times, the normal issues that you may face in the language are very easy to solve, but the complex one is the problem. Imagine you are building something that is very rare, like in the community, not something that everybody else worked with. With something like Vue and Svelte and the rest, you may not be able to get that much support the support that you need. But you React, a lot of developers have already done something like that. So the likeliness of somebody facing that issue one time will be very high, and then they'll be willing to help. But with all the other ones, the community is not really there because a lot of people have not adopted it. And another thing is like the other part of it is the people that are using it, right? So with React now, you have a lot of big guys that are using it. Facebook, Netflix, um, Twitter, and the rest. Most of these big companies are using it. Now, the reason why that is very important is because if you have been following tech, you know that one thing that is really peculiar to the tech industry is that they like copying each other. So, somebody wants to build an app. The first thing that he does do is go and Google Facebook stack, and then he sees the stack that Facebook uses, and then that's all. He just says, okay, for example, Facebook is using React, so let's use React. He really doesn't care about if React will like solve some of the problems that he may have. All he cares about is I want to build an app and Facebook is using React, so I want to use React. And that's how it usually works. And so for the fact that a lot of these big companies have adopted React, it makes it more appealing for these small companies to just adopt it, because number one, the advantage of that is that you will be able to get a lot of developers. So because there are a lot of React developers, you are able to bargain your salary, you are able to negotiate your salary better. But if you are using like something like Svelte or Vue that only have like a few developers, and you really want to use it, because there are few developers, whatever price that they tell you is the price they are most likely going to pay. Because if you lose this developer now, where will you get another developer? You understand? So you have this. The developer has this incentive. So yes, the developer has this incentive to like want to bargain for a higher price and better conditions, and the company will want to also bargain for themselves because it's a two-way thing. So because of that reason, you discover that a lot of times most companies just want to go where the developers are, and for the most part, it's always React that the developers are. They're not in Svelte, they're not in Vue. Another advantage of big companies using React is the fact that a lot of the issues that may come up in React, those big companies will be able to solve it, like for the community, because they have the best developers and then they are paying them well. So it may be something that you're not even aware of, right? Some of the issues that you may face, some of the optimization that you may get in React may not even be something that the React team itself worked on. Maybe it's something that a big company out there, like maybe Twitter, is working on. They're working as they're building their UI, they saw an issue, then they fix the issue, then they send you. They just said, okay, then just give it to the whole community so that everybody will have that advantage. So because of those big companies, you always have small companies trying to push developers, and you always have big companies contributing to the project and making it better. An advantage that um, these small frameworks will not have. So, lastly, I want to talk about something. That is, what do you need if you're going to build something that is as good as React, or you want to take over React? Um, how do you go about it? Now, the first thing that I want to say is a lot of time these small companies focus on one thing. Most of them offer optimization, right? You see, you just between benchmark numbers. This is X times faster than React. That is X times faster than React. But sit down and think about it. How many developers really care about how fast or how slow the tool that they use is? So, say for example, now Node.js have been there for years, right? And the literal person that created Node.js went and created um, Dino, right, to replace Node.js, but it failed, right? And why is that? Many times, right, people don't really care about how fast something works. Most of these numbers that they're just throwing as benchmarks. I don't think I've ever seen people leaving a framework because it's slower than the other framework, or a library because it's slower than the other library. Most developers don't benchmark. So if you just throwing numbers, for you to see developers jump shipping, it means that the framework or the library that they're jump shipping from is very, very slow and very, very terrible. That's when you start seeing them jump shipping. But if it just works like the way React works, it's very hard for you to jump ship. It's very hard for them to jump ship. I mean, even even Born, right? Born came out and was throwing numbers. They were like they're X faster than Node.js, despite the fact that they didn't even change anything much. But they were like they changed language and then they changed like the underlying work of the thing. So basically, just carry your Node.js project and give Born, and then Born will run it for you. But you still don't see the developers running to Born because of the optimization that it offers. So a lot of times, I feel like these developers of these new frameworks focus on the wrong thing, which is they are trying to optimize their own platform to be faster than React in benchmarks. But I feel like if you want to build something that will replace React, right, it's very important that you give a better experience. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is React has its weaknesses, right? And Next.js came in and fixed some of those weaknesses. And one of the major weaknesses is the fact that it doesn't work with SEO. And Node.js and Next.js came and fixed it. Now that's the problem that people had to React, and that is the company bringing solution to that problem. Another one is there's always this chaos with routing. There's the way that React doesn't route well. Then Next.js came and fixed the routing issues because now with React you have to use React router and the rest. But now you just did page based routing, and page based routing is unarguably better than what we are doing with React router. So because of that, you see people running to Next.js to a point that even React started recommending Next.js for you to use Next.js instead of using pure React. Now, that should be the approach that I think that most of these companies should offer. If I have the chance to build something that is going to be better than React, I would say these are the first thing that I would do. Number one, find an issue with React and then build on it. Then number two, carry the React that you have, then make it a little bit better, right? So say for example what Bond did with Node.js. So instead of changing the whole idea of Node.js like how Dino was trying to do, they just like optimized Node.js. They just optimized the runtime, and then they made everything work like under the hood. So everything just works out of the box. So I feel like if you can carry React what it has, just like what Next.js did, carry React the way it is, optimize, look at something that React doesn't do. It may be that this whole idea of removing the whole element from the DOM and then replacing the whole UI, it may not be that optimized. It may not be like the best approach to go. If you can figure out a way of doing something, like instead of just destroying the whole UI and then rebuilding it from scratch for every state change, you can implement something better, like how signals work. I think is it in Svelte or something, and all these kind of things. Instead of just removing the whole UI, you could just do something like that. So I feel like that's how um is library that can be able to replace React to work. If you just carry everything the way exactly how React is, just carry it and then find a way to enter and then make it better. I feel like that would be the better approach instead of trying to build something from scratch. That would be better. So what do you guys think? If you have the chance to build something that is better than React, what do you want to improve and what do you want to leave, and what do you guys think about this video? And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned to the next one. I promise you the next one is going to be a big surprise. We're going to try something different this time around. So when the time comes, please watch the video, like it, share it, and thank you for so much for your support, and see you in the next one. Thank you.